You know, there is a sense in which the films about Harry Potter are a rebuke to Christianity. And I'll tell you why. I watched a couple to see what all the fuss was about. You know why they're a rebuke to modern day American Christianity? Because when you watch them, you see this. They have something to live for, something to die for. There's heroics, there's risk, there's sacrifice, there's loyalty, there's do or die. There's throwing yourself in the mouth of the lion. They're alive! And then your children come to church. They see our Christianity. No war, no battles, no sacrifice, no daddy coming home wounded, nothing of the sort. One of the best things that ever happened to my boys was I was preaching last year, and some men became extremely angry with me. Extremely angry. And they were in my face and they were saying things, and my little boys are standing there. And then they walked away. And I could see, especially my son Ian, he goes, "Daddy, why are they so mad at you?" I said, "Because I'm standing for Christ." He said, "Daddy, they hate you." "I'm standing for Christ." This is what you were created for. You were created to watch football players beat themselves to death on the football field, or watch ball games, or tailgate parties. You were meant for Him to find your place in His ranks and to advance His kingdom. Men, where are the men? Now, let's just look at our culture for a moment. To give you a great idea, a movie came out a few years ago, maybe several years ago now, called Master and Commander. The amazing thing about that movie is the British are chasing after French privateers throughout all the 7 seas. And the British bring their warship alongside a French privateer. And the ropes are lashed. The cables are strung. The 2 ships are brought together. And now the British must charge. The amazing thing about that film is its historical integrity. Because the ones leading the charge in that film seem to be around 14 years old. You say, "Well, I'm not called to be a missionary." That I can agree with. But you are called to the Great Commission with the same dedication as any missionary that goes into Indonesia tomorrow. And if the ones hanging on the rope have scars on their hands, the ones holding the rope will have scars to an equal degree. Where are your scars? After a while, this world can only give you so much. It's sort of like, I'm amazed. I go into a lot of cities, and a lot of times I see billboards. This city has more restaurants per capita than any city in the southeast. I'm going, you're boasting about that. But if you're like me and you travel a lot and you eat out so much, you don't want to ever eat out again, because everything tastes exactly the same. You can't get excited about anything. It's the same way. You feed at the world's trough. You feed at the world's trough. You chase the American dream. Pretty soon it's just rot in your gut. And you find that although you do love the Lord, you have forgotten so much, and you've become so lost. So much of your time is given to things that do not matter. So much of your money is given to things that's not eternal. So much of the strength of your youth is wasted. The attitude of a Joshua. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Not in some legalistic, life-destroying way, but just a man on fire. A man on fire. Imperfect, all his flaws, everything about him, but nonetheless on fire, nonetheless the first one to battle, nonetheless the first to go down with the ship if it is necessary. Thy kingdom come. You know, in mission conferences all over the world, we hear about the needs, and they are great. There's no way to overemphasize the needs, not at all. And the needs need to be displayed before us all the time. The needs of Poland, of England, of Utah, of all the places that are here, Africa, they need to be shown to us. But I want to go to a higher motive. I want to appeal to a higher motive. Yes, you should be sitting there saying, we need to do missions. We need to do this because there are people who have not heard. But let me give you a higher motive. We must go because there are places on this earth where God is not worshipped. And I can't rest because of it. There are places where His glory is being given to idols and I cannot bear it. I must go not primarily because of them, but I must go primarily because of Him. Because of Him. An old word that used to be used with more frequency. Besought. God besought. It's just saturated with God. And He cannot rest until what was given to Adam and what was displayed in Christ has come to pass, that the gospel is being preached in every nation and the kingdom of heaven is being advanced. Now, am I saying that everyone should be a missionary? Absolutely not. Everyone in here is to be in the very center of God's will. Some of you are to be missionaries on the foreign field. Others of you are to stay at home and be salt and light in your communities, in your churches. But you're always to be aware the primary commission is to preach the gospel where it's not being preached. You can't say simply, I'm taking care of my family. You cannot say simply, I'm a light in my community. You have got to be burdened with the fact that there are places where His kingdom has not come and His will is not being done. Some of you teach your children idolatry. You know that, don't you? That's why they've got pictures of famous football players in their room and not pictures of some of the missionaries that are going to be sent out here. What is a football player to a missionary? You see how we teach them? We school them in worldliness and then wonder why they're worldly.